Please, let's start. We are running 7 minutes behind and we don't want to end too late. Please do come in. We are about to start our evening and final session. Welcome to all of you who are present in the room.
Janaka Rathnakumara from Sri Lanka. He is the Chief Operating Officer of Wijeya Newspaper Limited. His session is going to be on sustainability and eco-friendly practices in digital print. This is all about digital print, so everything related to digital print. Janaka is an accomplished corporate leader and sustainability consultant with 20 years of experience in senior roles. He specializes in circular economy, renewable energy. A chartered engineer and a chartered environmental professional, Janaka holds advanced degrees in sustainable energy engineering from KTH Sweden, in finance from Asia University Malaysia, and mechanical and manufacturing engineering from the University of Ruhana in Sri Lanka. Currently, Janaka serves as CEO Director of Times School of Higher Education, Group COO at Wijeya Newspapers Limited, and Director at Times Digital Solutions Private Limited. Recognized with global and national awards, including the Global Green Award and National Productivity Awards, Janaka is also an active member of professional bodies and national committees. He engages and speaks at various international events and seminars, and he is here today at our invitation. Please put your hands together for our friend from Sri Lanka, Janaka Rathnakumara.
Done. Yeah, good. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Mr. Tusa, for inviting me to do a sustainability in digital printing and the printing sector in generally, sustainability in the printing. So, that we have been actually discussing this subject over the last 20 years. At that time we thought that sustainability is a completely, that a huge cost, that definitely, it's not possible for us to, implement in our organizations, but actually it is completely wrong idea. Sustainability is compulsory for all of us actually. That when you talk about sustainable in eco-printing, eco-friendly practices in especially printing and digital printing sector. So first we look at now the current scenario. The sustainability is not a choice anymore. It is a responsibility of us, all of us. Therefore, there is no choice to avoid it. We need to align with the sustainable practices. If not, we all will have to suffer in the future. Even our later, our 4 children will have to definitely suffer, because they will one day, they will raise finger for us. Our forefathers, they haven't done their responsibility to keep a clean and environment to live for us and our children. Therefore, as a responsible citizens, we need to think about it very seriously. When you talk about why sustainability in the printing industry and important, we need to talk about, when you talk about sustainability, there are mainly 3 pillars: environment, economics and social. So how we can contribute environmentally, how we can contribute economically and socially. Adopting sustainable habits that will help us reduce our negative environmental impact. If there is a business or any activity, there is a negative impact to the environment. When we live as a human being, we take oxygen from our nose and we send back carbon dioxide to the world, the environment. Same thing, we take the food from the environment and we send all waste back to the environment. We take pure water and we send back wastewater back to the environment. So then when you talk about the industry, you can see what are the environmental impact. Each and every activity in your operation, there is a impact to the environment. So sometimes we can't avoid, we can't 100% stop those impact, but we can mitigate it. Our responsibility is to minimize and mitigate it as much as possible. So then first understand what is the definition actually. What is the definition of sustainability? In sustainability, that is definition is meeting the needs of the present, meeting the needs of our present requirement without compromising the future generations to achieve their needs. Therefore, that we need to protect our earth, otherwise there might be huge challenges in the future, especially future generations, our 4 children. We need to understand this. Earth is a closed system. I think we have heard about it, we learned it when we were in school. Closed system means we can't take any outside resources to this planet, as well as we can't send our waste that we generate day-to-day activities in our socio-economic activities, we can't send our waste away from this planet as well. This is only energy and light we can take. It's a closed system. Therefore, we need to understand that we have only one planet. Yes, that as I explained you earlier, we take our socio-economic activities by taking all the resources from environment and we send waste back to the environment. It's not ethical. So we need to understand this. If not, what happens? There might be a lot of water pollution, soil pollution, air pollution, depletion of natural resources, and finally, consequently, many environmental problems occur. These cause low productivities in many industrial sectors, as well as the strict environmental regulation will be imposed by the government or the society in the future. Look at this. Population growth is one of the major challenge for the sustainability. Look at these figures, that in 7 billion, in 10 years back, we had a 7+ billion in population in the world. At that time, we had 30 billion tons of carbon dioxide. 2025, we reached 8 billion population. Now we generate about 40 billion ton of carbon dioxide to the environment. In 2025, that world population will be increased further 9 billion, 9+ billion, and 2100 it will further increase to the massive figure of 11 billion. Right? Then you can see the amount of carbon dioxide that we generate and add to the environment. So, look at this slide actually, previous slide, you can understand the live population growth in the world. This is a live calculator. Look, sorry, can you share this slide? Okay, it shows that, every second more than one person, that is added to the population, right? I will go back to the presentation. Okay, look at this slide. The population of the world today is about 200,000 people larger than yesterday. The world population clock live shows you in real time how fast it's actually going. This development will put enormous pressure on earth resources, and we will need to find a more sustainable way of living and fast as possible. Why transformation is urgent? That first, as we discussed, the growing population by 2025, world population reached 8+ billion now. And it, as I mentioned earlier, around 2040, it could hit 9 billion. At 2100, it could reach a massive 11 billion people. The second point, and a much bigger world economy. We know that the world economy could grow a massive 26 times this century. Right? This will put enormous pressure on earth resources, and we are already overusing at 160% of requirement. Right? Therefore, we need to do something. We need to do something as early as possible. If we don't start radical change in the way we consume the planet resources, especially, we will be heading for a complete collapse of our consumer society. At current trends, the planet cannot sustain twice as many people and a 26 times large economy. Therefore, a new industrial revolution is required. There is a need for a new industrial revolution where economic wealth goes hand in hand with environmental and social sustainability. And past, we are reaching critical tipping point beyond which it will be too late to reverse negative trend. Have you heard about the ecological footprint? The environmental footprint, or we can say eco footprint, is a measure of human demand on Earth's ecosystem. It says something about how many planet Earth we need to support for our way of life. You can calculate your own ecological footprint. In 2024, humanity's ecological footprint is, today we need about 1.7 times planet resources to provide the resources for our consumption and absorb the waste that we generate. By mid-2030, we will need 2 planets, but we have only 1 planet. Right? So, look at this, how fast that ecological, that Earth overshooting day is coming. In 2012, Earth overshooting day was August 22nd. That meaning that from this day, humanity lives beyond the ecological capacity of planet Earth. Every year the day arrives a little early. In 24, it was on 1st of August 2024. 2025, it will reach somewhere in July, late July, maybe 20th, 20th. Look at this diagram. In 1971, right, we had almost, Earth overshooting day was somewhere in December, end of December. That means we had enough resources to fulfill our requirement within 12 months period. But look at now what happened in 2024. It is reduced to end of August. It will further reduce within next couple of years if we do not change our current practice, if we do not adapt with sustainable development practices. Today we need 1.7 times planets. Look at this. How many countries are required to meet the demand of its citizen? Japan needs 7.7 times Japan resources. Fulfill the human's demand. Italy required 4.7 times Italy's resources, Switzerland 4.6 times. India required 2.7 times India's resources to fulfill 1.4 billion population in India. That means you do not have enough resources within India. You need to bring some other poor countries. It is not sustainable. This is not a sustainability. Look at other side. How many Earths do we need? If the world population lived like USA, they need 5 times planet resources to fulfill their requirement. If people live like USA, all we live like USA, we need 5 times planet resources. Australia 4.5 times, Russia 3.2 times, India 0.7 times. You consume 1.4 billion, consume 0.7 times Earth resources along, right? So we need to seriously think about it. That's why finally all world, 175 times the resources we consume. This you can easily calculate. I'm sorry because there's a link you can go to, then you can calculate your own ecological footprint. www.footprintcalculator.org. You can go to that slide from your mobile, you can calculate, you can add your consumption patterns. It will ask some questions about how many vehicles do you use, how many square feet do you use in your house, how many air conditions, so what is the electricity consumption or kWh unit you require to fulfill your requirement in your day-to-day activities. Are you a vegetarian or non-veg? Then again, how many air travels, what is the monthly kilometers you travel by vehicles, by common transport or public transport versus your own transport. You need to add those information, you can calculate it. Just I have added the person like you and me, average middle level management, the professional in the industry, you can see that it is 15th May. If all population like us, right, the hours sitting they come early than the even world population. It was earlier 31st August, but now average person you and me like that, then it will further reduce to 15th May. That means we need 2.7 times planet Earth to fulfill our requirement. Therefore, we need a radical change, right? So, why we need responsible citizens? Therefore, we need responsible citizens. We don't want citizens, right? Now, we need responsible citizens to protect our earth and develop the business. Current overuse is due to our consumption of goods and services, the extraction of raw material and production, distribution, use and disposal of the stuff we buy. As a consumer, you have the possibility to make a positive difference. If we can't be a responsible citizen, like this fish, the red fish, we'll have to end with the collapse, complete, right, collapse. So you can see, therefore, those are the solutions for the sustainable development. Solution exists for the improving sustainability. We talk about the food, how we produce, distribute and consume food, how we meet one of our most basic needs. Food is a powerful way to influence sustainability. Sourcing food locally and avoiding highly processed food can lower the ecological footprint. Organic food and smart agricultural practices will help you to move into the sustainability. And also avoiding resource inefficiency in food production and food waste. You can minimize as much as possible your food waste. You can serve the amount that you can eat. Do not put your food to your dustbin or the waste bin, right? Reduce as much as possible. Look at this one, energy. When you talk about energy, how energy can contribute to sustainability, how we power ourselves. Decarbonizing the economy is our best possible chance to address climate change and the world, improve the balance between our ecological footprint and the planet's renewable natural resources. Reducing the carbon component of humanity's ecological footprint by 50% would get us from consuming the resources of 1.7 times Earth down to 1.2 times Earth. Therefore, we need to adapt to the sustainable energy solutions like energy management and conservation practices. You need to analyze your company or your organization or your home. What is your energy consumption? Analyze and see what is the world benchmark per capita, per person in India. You analyze with the Indian per capita energy consumption what's your own energy consumption. Your organization can analyze your per capita energy consumption with your similar organization or any other sector, similar organization in any other country or either region. Check whether you are a responsible citizen, you are responsibly manage your energy consumption. If not, you need to think and you need to come up with solution. Right, renewable energy use is another solution. You can use as much as possible renewable energy, solar, maybe small wind turbine, right, or biogas generation. Whatever you can try to get natural lights as much as possible. Right, what we do, you know that we design our house and put curtains all the sides. we do not use natural lights, take natural lights and we try to get artificial lights, and try to get passive ventilations instead of mechanically designed ventilation like fans or air conditions. Right? Green building solution will be another very good example. When you are going to build new house or new office complex, think what are the green building practices that we can use. If you can introduce green building, then your water consumption will be reduced, your energy consumption will be reduced, your entire carbon footprint will be reduced. Right? Therefore, when we talk about energy, how energy contribute to the sustainability, then we talk about the planet, how we helped nature succeed, that humanity's quality of life is depend on the earth or on the health of our planet's biological resources, including fertile soil, clean water and clean air necessary for humanity to succeed. That even 10-15 years back when I was the childhood, I can remember that, right, we drank water from our natural rivers and the water streams that was in our village, but now we can't drink any water reservoirs water without that filtering. Even we drink 100% bottled and filtered water, but now still we can breathe free air, oxygen. After another 10 to 20 years time, even we will have to bring the oxygen can to our backpack. Right? Therefore, we need to seriously think about it. Cities, that's another challenge. You can see we all came from the village countryside to the city. Most of you, I think, you all lived in the countryside, now we are in the city. Look at the world trend. 80% of the world population is expected to live in cities by 2050. 80% of the world population expected to live in the cities by 2050. City planning and urban development strategies are instrumental to balancing the supply of natural capital and population demand. Examples including energy efficiency buildings, integrated zoning, compact cities and effective options for people, powered and public transportation. Right? Therefore, think about if 80% population come to the city, right, then traffic jam, you can think about the waste that we generate within the city, the water consumption, water requirement, energy requirement within the city. Right? Do we have enough schools to send our kids to the city, within the city? Do we have enough hospitals within the city? Right? Therefore, there might, that there will be a lot of complications in the future. Therefore, that is why, we need to plan. When you are going to develop any building or any city or anything, we need to think about the smart city concept, right? So, therefore, that is the macro view of sustainability. Now, we will look at the micro view, that means focus about our industry. Environmental impact of traditional printing versus digital printing. This is some challenges that we had with the traditional printing: high water and energy consumption, VOC emission from ink, especially large waste generation, overproduction and inventory waste. When you come to the digital offset printing, environmental footprint versus digital printing, we can just do a case study and see why digital printing is different. No plates, reduce startup waste, on-demand printing, reduce waste again, lower water usage, eco-friendly ink and substrates. That will help to sustainability. Digital printing and sustainable development, that alignment with sustainable development goals. That we address sustainable, you can go to the next slide, you can see what is the goal number 12, sustainable consumption and production. Right? Then goal number 13, climate action. Goal number 9, industry innovation and infrastructure development. Therefore, we need to think how we can align our businesses with 17 goals. That 17 goals were introduced to move into the sustainable pathway. Therefore, if you can calculate your carbon footprint or whatever your operational practices, if you can try to align with the 17 goal you will be able to convert to the sustainable path. Then we look at the circular economy principle. You know that now we have linear economy principle. Linear economy means take, make, use and disposal. That means at the end whatever the product we take and we use it, and after that we send to the environment. It run like this, we call linear economy. Instead of that, now introduce the circular economy principle. The circular economy is a model of production and consumption which involves sharing, leasing, reusing, repairing, repurposing and recycling existing materials and products as long as possible. In this way, the life cycle of product is extended. Also, you can introduce upcycling before recycling. Likewise, there are a lot, your waste should be someone as raw material. We say industrial symbiosis. I will share with you some best practices and the circular economy principle that we have introduced in my operations. The global manufacturing sector faces challenges of resource scarcity and environmental degradations. The circular economy emerged as a transformative approach for balancing growth and sustainability. Therefore, you need to think about how your business can align with the sustainable development and also circular economy principle. Right? When you talk about the circular economy in digital printing, eliminate waste and promote in resource efficiency and recyclability, recycle substrate, ink recovery and customization. When you are moving to traditional printing to the circular, the digital printing, you are more sustainable than the traditional business. You are moving with circular economy principle, right? So, practical eco-friendly practices, water-based UV ink and FSC certified or recycled papers, FSC certified centers, reduce packaging waste, energy efficient equipment, technological innovation that we can introduce AI driven optimizations, automated workflows, low energy current and also digital embellishment. It will help you to reduce your environmental impact. In industry case studies, we can do a case study and see example of eco practices in digital printing, and you can measure the results. What is the energy consumption that you have now, right? What is your carbon footprint, your water footprint, your waste, solid waste generation, traditional versus the digital printing, right? So, economical benefit, reduce your waste, reduce your cost. It will help to your bottom line of the operation, the P&L, and brand. You can enhance, the regulatory you can match with the regulatory compliances, and also market differentiation. You can get some additional value, and also brand value enhancement. Right? I think we discussed today and as well as yesterday's in this the breakup session, as well as in the book printing publishing breakup session. I saw that we were discussing about sustainable developments and how we can enhance our brand value to sustain the business. Therefore, this is the correct time to think about it seriously. What are the challenges and opportunities in this sustainable development? That challenges mean, sometimes we do not have enough awareness yet. So, we need to train our employees and we need to train our community to adapt into the sustainable practices as much as possible, and also sometime some investment in digitalization, industrial 4.0 kind of practices need to be introduced. Industrial 4.0 will help you to digitalize a lot of things, introduce Internet of Things, IoT, and as well as minimize your cycle time, right? It will help you to, that digitally show your result, daily result you can take to your dashboard, you can monitor, you can avoid unnecessary waste, you can save your time, right? Finally, that help you. And opportunities, new markets, as all discussed, that new Gen Z and the Alpha will think completely different. If you want to target next generation, they need to think about how we can align with sustainable development. And also you can get in future, actually carbon trading system will be introduced. If you can save your carbon emission, You can reduce your carbon footprint, you can save it, you can share with some other companies or countries and you can get some trade, you can get some financial benefit for your carbon saving. So roadmap for the implementation, the first what we need to do, to assess your footprint. Everyone, that you calculate your P&L at the end of the year, financial year. You check plus or minus, but you do not calculate your carbon footprint. You need to calculate and see, compared to last year, you are positive or negative. You are able to reduce your carbon footprint compared to last year. If you can, add that also into your annual report, right? Set goals. Okay, by 2030, I will be able to reach 50% carbon emission reduction plants or 100% net zero carbon plant, something like that. Then you need to adopt digital first system. Train your staff, that is very important, right? Then partner with green suppliers, greening the supply chain, and the role of collaboration, that is very important. Today I am here because of we had a collaboration with MMS and SLAP, Sri Lanka Printers and Mumbai Mudrak Sangh. Because of that, actually we can share our knowledge, our experience with you all, and we can take your experience and knowledge to our country. So collaboration is very important and partnership is very important. Joint research and development, that institutions, that association can do research and development on behalf of you. You do not want to reinvent the wheel along in your organization. You can ask them to come up with R&D system developments for entire industry, right? So they will collaborate with other, develop whatever the organization, they can share their good things with others, then they can copy or they can bring their other practices, good practices. We can develop the BP and best practice network kind of thing to improve the sustainability. We do not want to reinvent again and again. We can take your practices to Sri Lanka. We can take from others, Singapore, whatever other sustainable practices that they have introduced. So therefore, networking is very important. Doing research and development is very important. And finally, knowledge sharing is very, very important. So measuring and reporting impacts, how we can measure our carbon footprint. You can calculate your carbon footprint annually. You can measure your life cycle assessment. Do calculate your life cycle assessment and add to annual report. Those are the future trends actually, bio-based ink or closed loop system like circular economy, renewable energy practices, localized printing, customization, and we discuss now, right, personalization. Key takeaways, digital printing is actually more sustainable than the traditional printing. Circular economy boosts you benefits. Eco-friendly practices help environment and business. I will take another 5 minutes to share my sustainable practices that I have introduced. Most of I think, the general public think about sustainability, they don't know from where they can start it. You can start it from the 3R principle: reduce your waste as much as possible, reduce your inventories, reduce your electricity bill, right? Whatever, reduce everything. Only from first R, from 3R, you can do a kind of research kind of thing in your organization. Only think about first R, reduce, what we can reduce. When you're purchasing, you can try reduce the amounts that we need to import or we can buy. Likewise, then you can go to the second R, reuse, try to reuse your waste for another purposes, try to introduce upcycling instead of recycling. Then after that, fine, if we do not have a solution, then you can introduce recycling, the third R. Right? Okay, in 2006, that when I joined at that organization, they had traditional image setter system. So then immediately 2006, 20 years, they had been using that traditional system. And I introduced CTP technology, and also that introduced even CTP, actually we have environmental friendly chemicals. Even that chemical, we introduced wastewater treatment plant within the premises to clean even environmental friendly chemicals. You can see I did a very small thing, that when we had a image setters, I took a small sample from image setter waste, yogurt cup, right? I took even 20 milligram or 100 milligram, 100 milliliters cup, collected wastewater from the image setter and sent to the ITI, that means Industrial Technology Institution, to analyze the waste in the image setter wastewater. I realized that there was a silver. Then I introduced silver recovery plant within the premises, right? Then we sent wastewater, right? I developed the commercial side big plant, then I sent outside plant, right? Then we, at that time in 2006-5, we sold waste water at the rate of 130 rupees LKR, Sri Lankan rupees. At that time our fuel price, petrol price was 90 rupees, right? Before I joined 25 years, they sent that all CTP wastewater